Guys, Veggie Gamer back, and your eyes do not deceive you guys. We are back to, yes, sorry, Lord of the Rings. I forgot what it was called, guys. It's been so long. We're back to Lord of the Rings reaction, guys. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm so sorry about the length of time it has been between these. It has been a very long time between this series. I'd imagine that a lot of you probably thought that I'd stopped it, guys. That was never my intention, guys. Life has been very, it's been a roller coaster. The last few months. I should really go into it because the thing is, if you only watch my Lord of the Rings videos, you wouldn't know, guys. But unfortunately, there was a bereavement in my family a couple of months ago, and it affected the entire channel. It really meant that for a while I couldn't post anything, and then when I was posting, I really had to prioritize things like Has Been Hotel, which is a new series which is going out right now, so I need to get on top of it. And so things like Lord of the Rings had to take a bit of a back seat. I say a bit of a back seat, guys. It has been months since we did the last one. Today we're doing this, I'm guessing it's the second part of the music of Middle Earth. Love the first part, guys. Absolutely beautiful. It's so interesting because I think that it's arguable to say that the music is the best thing about the movies, guys. And that's, I mean, you got the scenery, you got the acting, you got the story itself, you know, it's all competing for each other. But the music is such, imagine watching the movies without the music. You know what, that would be fascinating. That might actually work. Wow. Okay, take back what I just said, but seriously, I love the music of Lord of the Rings. And so, we're going to be checking this out today. It's 22 minutes, guys, and I'm using it to basically time when I need to turn my sprinkler off in the lawn. Because it's 22 minutes, in 22 minutes time, I need to turn the sprinkler off. And so that's very, very useful. So thank you very much, everyone involved in the making of this movie. But yes, we're back to it, guys. If there's anything else that you want me to check out Lord of the Rings wise, guys, please do let me know what in the comments. I know that some people, and it is some people, want me to check out the... I'm sorry, I can't remember what it's called, but the series which came out, I think, last year or the year before. I mean, I can do, guys. What I worry is that it's a very divisive, is that the right term? It's Marmite. You either love it or you hate it, apparently. And so, I can do that. I think it might be cool to cover stuff which is generally, you know, universally loved by you guys, because that's, you know. But, you know, if there's enough call for it, guys, then I will cover it. I'm so sorry, I can't remember the name of it. But it was the show that came out, like, a couple of years ago, I think. Yeah. So anything else Lord of the Rings related that you want me to cover? The animated movies and stuff like that, I'd be fascinated to check out. Obviously, the video games we need to get to eventually, once they start live streaming again. So sorry about the wait on that, guys. I mean, I stopped live streaming because of family circumstances and everything like that. But yeah, anything else Lord of the Rings wise, please let me know in the comments. Either way, guys, let's get into it. So, I don't understand what 0605 is, but apparently that's, I think it's probably the chapter of the DVDs or something? I don't know. But either way, this is the second part, I believe, of Music of Middle Earth. And looking forward to it, guys. Naturally, as this is a music-based video, it will most definitely get claimed. That's fine, guys. You take the rough with the smooth when it comes to YouTube, in my opinion. All I will say is, if you're new here, please do subscribe. Hit the like button. That really, really helps me out. And if you want to check out the Patreon, guys, you can sync up your copies of the extended versions of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and check out my full-length reactions on there. And that's a lot of hours when you think about it. How many hours is it? It's something like a day, isn't it? Because I see a lot of memes. I swear, like, there's one of Pippin holding the orb. And it says, a free 24 hours or something like that. And then it's like Gandalf, and it says the Lord of the Rings series. I'll take that from you, Pippin, whatever it says. It's quite funny. Anyway, guys, I love it. I on Instagram, I regularly get I regularly are showed images of the hobbits as they look now. Fascinating, guys. Absolutely fascinating. To be fair, they didn't change that much. All blooming good-looking guys. Idiots. Sorry. Right, so here we go, guys. Looking forward to this. So sorry about the wait for here, but now we're getting into, like I say, what I'm guessing is the second part of the Music of Middle Earth. Let's check it out. And of course, we want to do the book club for The Hobbit eventually, don't we? That'll be interesting. I'm fascinated by that, guys, because I thoroughly enjoyed the Hobbit series. I know that they're not at everyone's cup of tea, and yet we still cover those. So maybe we should just cover that series. I don't know how I'm going to do it, though, exactly. When it comes to finding time to edit and everything. We shall see. Either way, let's get this checked out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dramatic music, which is very loud in my ears. Gollum, I didn't realise that he had his own theme. I actually didn't. Oh, no, yeah, it's yeah. I definitely remember this playing when he's about. But I guess it's mainly when he's on his own.
You know, Howard had really worked himself into the ground, as it were, you know, finishing that score because we were delivering the film very late. I was determined not to put him through the same experience on Return of the King. I was going to try not to anyway. It's always hard to predict these things. So I'm sure, to Howard, impossible. You know, Return of the King is in a really rough shape. Why don't you come down to New Zealand and just have a look at Return of the King? We can show you what we've got, you know, months and months ahead of time.
In the first film, Howard went out, made several trips, spent a month there working on themes. Actually, more than a month. We put him up in a house.
Yeah.
And we didn't get a chance to do that in the second film. And I think we all realized that was something that we needed to reclaim.
There's nothing like actually seeing.
That's normal, isn't it, to not do that, I believe.
Theater with the filmmakers and having discussions afterwards about it.
We were quite lucky to have Howard Shore down in New Zealand, and one added benefit to that was that he was around when we were shooting some of the pickups for film 3.
He actually went on set. Okay. He had a cameo in one of the scenes.
Oh, you're kidding! Is that him there? It is. Is it? It is.
That he's going to compose while we're actually shooting.
He looks great.
For a keyboard, he could sort of be playing a keyboard while we're going.
That'd be a disc
really
jockey.
I think for Howard and for the filmmakers to have Howard come out to New Zealand, spend time.
That's amazing.
Get back in the flavor of the whole thing.
I wonder how many cameos there are. Seriously.
The size of Return of the King was just enormous. The epic scope of it was incredible, and the emotion of it was unbelievable.
Oh, the behind-the-scenes stuff, guys.
Film, and it is a long.
You love to see it.
A number of minutes. You know, there's a lot of score. You know, maybe 80% of the film is scored. So there was a lot of material that Howard had to write for.
But
wow! It's my dude.
Developing themes and continuing to develop them from film to film,
and give you a taste of something, just a taste in one part of one film, and then to actually really hear the theme in earnest in the next one.
Okay.
The third film is full of thematic materials that were hinted at earlier, set up particularly in Fellowship.
There's a scene in Castle Elrond where Boromir stands up and talks about his father.
Yes. Oh, is this the Gondor theme? Maybe?
It's a solo French horn, and you hear what then becomes the Gondor theme and the ascent.
No way!
In Return of the King.
I love how this all ties into each other. I also love Gondor, guys. Maybe change of government, maybe? Or not government, but you know what I mean.
It's all about arriving at Gondor. That is the big theme in film 3. The first real great presentation of it is the lighting of the beacons.
One of the most epic moments in the entire trilogy, in my opinion.
The cultures of men to defend themselves against the forces of evil. So it's a really historic moment in Middle-earth.
Actually, I'm more of a Rivendell guy now I think about it. Definitely. I think everyone is, right? No, Hobbiton, of course. No, Hobbiton. I'm saying Hobbiton, sorry. I know this is actually from the film.
Sometimes can do better than books, you know. And you're not using any words. It's music and film.
And when we
scenery.
were on stage, we all kind of knew, yep, no more discussion here. Can we have a lot more of it, please?
That's amazing. The fact that it was in Fellowship is amazing.
Even though it really wasn't a scene between people, only indirectly. From Pippin's hand, you know, lighting this and eventually Arwen taking it in.
Definitely one of my favourite moments. Definitely one of my favourite. Oh,
my feeling with Shelob was
so
that I wanted it to feel very un-Lord of the Rings. Like I said to Howard,
so
listening to Shelob, why don't you go back to the old Cronenberg films, because Howard's written the music for just about everything that David Cronenberg's ever made. I said to Howard, listen, let's have some of that stuff. This should be like The Fly.
Ironically, why do I have to watch this again, sorry? Actually, I could just look away. I could just listen to the music. Actually, I need to appreciate with the visuals.
Peter wanted it to feel as if it was a film within, you know, within our film, a separate piece. Like once you enter Shelob, you were in an entirely different world.
It should
rules
be
have
maybe
changed.
a little bit more electronic sounding. Not that we'd use electronics in creating it, but we could make it sound a little bit more unearthly and not the orchestral feeling of the rest of the film.
That is fascinating, but also I can't wait for this bit to end. That is absolutely fascinating.
Brass and under all this kind of screechy, scary, almost high, you know, like Hitchcock type strings.
Oh.
There's a lot of dissonance. Two notes, very similar.
Looks
in
a
pitch,
lot
and
like
played
Pippin.
together.
I just think it's just Howard Shore is best. I really do. It really turns his skin.
I mean, it is amazing, and that's why I want this bit to end, because it is
There's
so
something
well
that's
done.
interesting when you're making movies, which is like playing
Relax.
against the expectation.
Howard had this great knack of bringing in a soloist voice, a bare voice, without the major orchestra.
Oh my God.
Juxtaposed against
No,
the frenetic
Horsey.
visual action on screen.
I gotta say, guys, the only soundtrack I've fully listened to is the
There's
first
two
one,
of
so I
them
really need to check
in
these
Return
out.
of the King. There's a scene towards the end of the film where Gollum finally has the ring, and you hear the solo voice of Renee Fleming.
Beautiful.
Aside from being an incredible artist, Renee was a lot of fun to work with. She was proud of herself. She said, well, Howard, you know, I can sing in, you know, Italian, Spanish, English, German, and now in Elvish.
Oh my goodness.
There's nothing
Should
that
I
we
know
as
this
humans
name?
respond to better than the human voice. You don't know what it's doing to you, but I believe it has the effect of making a connection, a human connection, an emotional connection. And it makes the scene really powerful.
Oh, don't. I love this so much. Just rewatching this is getting me emotional, guys.
That was devised while we were shooting the film. There was originally in our script no song there. It was just going to be dialogue and looks and done with the cutting and the music. But Philippa Boyens had gone out partying with the actors one night.
They decided they were going to do some karaoke. And it
Oh
was
my
at
goodness.
that, dinner that I actually heard some of the actors singing. It was the very first time really that I'd heard Billy sing. I'd heard him sing the Scottish national anthem at Elijah's Thanksgiving party in Queenstown, but and I thought, wow, that's a good voice. But then when I heard him doing Delilah, I think it was, I thought, wow, this guy can really sing.
Oh my goodness.
I'd always wanted to use.
Imagine if he'd done Delilah instead.
Asks Pippin for a song.
Can you sing, Master Hobbit?
I said to Fran, do you want to do the song? What are we going to do about Billy's song? And she said, she just couldn't. She didn't have time. She said, you write something, which was really funny because I'm practically tone deaf.
Pete asked me if I could write something. And I said, well, yeah, I'll have a go. And they gave me what they wanted the words to be.
It's amazing.
Which is a poem from The Fellowship.
And he said, when? And I said, well, you're shooting it tomorrow. I think it was. He had a day, maybe 2 days.
So I kind of thought
It's actually in
about
the
it and
book, Fellowship.
what type of song it would be. Looking at the words and where he is, I just thought a song that he's probably heard his grandfather sing. You know, that's
Or the
came
chapters,
from
I should say.
when hobbits were looking for the Shire. So I wrote a few melodies.
He came onto the set that day and no one...
Whoa, he scrubs up good.
And he opened
Hey!
and this glorious thing came out.
Through
So different.
shadows, to the edge of night, until the stars are all alight.
Talking about favourite bits, guys. No, seriously.
Shadows, cloud and shade,
all shall fade. All shall fade.
And, you know, I just finished the song and I was a bit sort of, you know, I felt a bit naked, to be honest. And then afterwards, people had told me they'd been crying and stuff, which is, you know, kind of great to hear.
Could see it in the performance, the emotion.
Affected anyone is lovely.
And that's the way that the song was born. It was one of those ideas that really came only a matter of days before we actually shot the scene.
And we got to record it in Abbey Road Studios in London.
Oh, really?
It's just a huge highlight of my career. Home is behind, the world ahead.
You have these performances, and so I just wrote around them, which I kind of like to do. I mean, I wrote pieces that kind of shape their vocals. In Billy's case, he's solo.
Of course, Peter Jackson, Beatles connection
the
again.
Orchestra comes in when you see the riders approaching Osgiliath.
So good, so good. Oh, don't show the tomato bit.
Instead of, you know, a noisy battle scene, you have the juxtaposition of this beautiful, haunting melody that Billy created and sings, and Howard supported with very simple underpinnings of orchestra growing out of it.
It's a moment in the film that builds a new respect for Pippin, and
oh my God, yes,
a shiver down your spine, and it really works.
In fact, it was a last-minute thing. It's
Fran
insane.
And Philip came to me, I think it was for the Two Towers pickups around that time, and that they'd had this idea, they'd written this song, and that they wanted me to sing it and record it.
And the idea was that was going to be a piece to be created for Arwen to sing during her scene, her vision of having a child with Aragorn and confronting Elrond.
Ultimately, the scene didn't get used in Two Towers. It was one of those scenes that sort of got pushed to Return of the King, and so therefore the song got pushed with it. So when it came time to look at Return of the King, and we started really concentrating on that scene, on the song, it didn't seem like the right thing to do for the scene, because it seems strange that you're hearing Liv's voice when you're seeing her pictures and she's looking at her son. Somehow the song and what we were trying to convey with the scene didn't kind of gel.
So ultimately, for that scene, we wrote a piece called Twilight and Shadow, and that's sung by Renee Fleming.
Twilight and Shadow, I'm checking this out.
So as a result, we had this great song sung by Liv Tyler and no place to put it in the theatrical version of the film.
And it was quite difficult for me because I'd already told a lot of people about it.
Oh,
so
no!
I was so embarrassed when it actually didn't end up in the film.
I've got to outshine Billy and all that. Oh, damn, that's a shame.
A great place for this now is actually Houses of Healing.
Oh! How interesting. So this is the song which was meant to be before. Sorry, I think I may have got that wrong, guys. I'm sorry if I have. It is a beautiful song.
Lyric line which Fran wrote, even though it was originally written for Arwen and Aragorn, it's the same thing. It is about someone who must come back from the depths of despair if they are to endure and to keep going.
It's such a great idea because it connects the two women. It connects Arwen to Arwen.
Yeah.
And their connection is Aragorn and their love for Aragorn.
And is also his platonic love for Eowyn. It really brought that whole story together in a very lovely way.
I think that my
that is poetry, isn't it?
Inside of
That's
myself
amazing.
has always been to be a singer. So it was just, you know, really fun. Another tool for me to learn while making The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. They're also blooming multi-talented, aren't they? And then there it is again, Aragorn who?
The coronation scene, obviously, we.
Oh yes! Oh yes!
Ego
Oh yes!
Got a powerful scene when you open that. He sings this very emotional, natural way.
I thought, you know, is it going to seem really weird that Aragorn basically bursts into a song?
you know, the moment of his crowning, he just, what are you going to stand there with a crown on your head? He wanted to do more than that, and I think it was a good instinct, and I think he did it really well.
Yeah.
Aragorn, just as it happens in the book, repeats the words that were spoken by his ancestor, Elendil, when he first came to Middle-earth, by saying essentially, to Middle-earth I am come, in this place will I dwell, and my heirs until the ending of time. Aragorn is acknowledging the past and making a promise for the future in celebrating the present. And I think that's kind of what Tolkien's doing overall in his story.
We need to cover the books, guys. We need to cover the books.
The song for the end of Return of the King is very important. It's the song that sees the trilogy out. And it has to also hold the mood and the feeling and the emotion of the end of the film.
I met with Fran one day and I said, let's think about who our top artists are. You know, who would we want to work with on the last film? And Annie Lennox was on the top of both of our lists.
What?
The way that Annie can take all the trimmings away and just project this sheer emotional power, and it was something that
have you guys told me that before? That
Howard got some text from Tolkien, and just to start somewhere, and created a beautiful melody called "Use Well the Days."
Guys, if you've told me that it's Annie Lennox before, I am so sorry, because clearly I must have just forgotten. But I'm pretty certain I didn't know this.
Peter didn't feel that that was the ending of the movie.
Oh.
It was a certain expression. As beautiful as it is, he said, that's not the ending piece.
So it wasn't used. Okay.
Well, we're
Stand
gonna
up.
write it. So we started going at the writing.
A big part of the influence and the personal experience for Fran that informed the lyrics on Into the West is a young New Zealand filmmaker named Cameron Duncan, who was a friend of Peter and Fran's that they had encouraged and nurtured, and he had a terminal illness and unfortunately passed away while we were finishing Return of the King.
So I'm not sure. Was this? I'm guessing this is during the credits, presumably.
We hear
rather
a
than
strain of Into the West in Minas Tirith,
Into the
beautiful
West
scene with Gandalf and Pippin when they think all hope is lost.
I didn't think it would end this way.
End? No, the journey doesn't end here. Death is just another path.
And you hear the chorus of Into the West.
Yeah, okay, so this is the music which plays when the boats are leaving, definitely. I'm sure. So good, guys. I need to get the soundtracks for the second two movies
until like the second or third time I saw the movie. But that theme plays over pretty much any reference to death in the film, so it really becomes a very important element of the movie, or certainly became one.
Across the sea, a pale moon rises.
This is definitely the tune which is playing when the boat is leaving. But with Annie Lennox on it? Is that on the credits maybe? I'm not sure. It might be in... Yeah, there we go. It could be in the movie, but I certainly don't remember it being.
We set out to make the best movie that we could, and
you did a good job.
The acclaim that it's had is just gratifying. It's amazing, really.
I'm sure when Howard Shore said yes to Lord of the Rings, you know, he probably couldn't visualize what it really meant in terms of, you know, 3 theatrical films as well as the extended cuts. And in the end, you know, it became around the year process for him.
When I'm finished everything, you know, with the extended cut of Return of the King, it'll be 4 years. We were generating enormous amounts of material. There's close to 8,000 takes of music in the 3 recordings, you know, for the 3 films.
The extended thing wouldn't have been done separately, though, would it?
You know, the last day we recorded at Watford was our last day at basically the place that we did the majority of our scoring, and that was very
Watford
emotional
Town Hall
for us.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's everything.
That's the last time from Watford, Pete. This is it. This is our
Last time from Watford.
Watford experience in Lord of the Rings.
Goodbye to Watford. Wow, that's sort of the end of an era.
We also did a photo with the whole group and the orchestra and everybody, the whole crew.
Oh wow!
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
great.
Where is Watford? I need to look. Is that London?
Howard doesn't want to leave Middle Earth, and I say that lovingly.
Now there's a Lord of the Rings symphony that is being played around the world by different orchestras.
Oh, I bet there
The
is.
Symphony
When's that
Project
coming
is
around?
A 2-hour piece created from the 12 hours of music created for Lord of the Rings.
Oh, I might need to look into getting tickets for this.
It's just fun, just for the sheer joy of just playing music live without any restrictions of the timings of the film and no
I
recording
freaking love the
studio,
Hobbits,
and there's no microphones
Hobbiton
or
thing.
anything.
It's arguably my favourite from the entire series. I love it so much. It's so good.
I think doing the concert still keeps you kind of in touch with it. It keeps you sort of part of it.
He is so completely invested himself in a way that I don't know that anybody else would have. I don't know that anybody else could have. Not the way that he did.
You need to let me know what your favourite piece of
I'm not
music from
interested in
Lord of
it
the Rings
being
is,
over. In a
guys,
way,
but I
wish
think it's
there was
Hobbits
more
and
time
Feet for me.
to do it. I mean, if you said to me, well, we had a few more years to work on Return of the King, I'd say, great.
And he's actually thinking it as well. That's absolutely, I think that's it. That was an absolute blooming joy to watch, guys. That brought it all back. And I admit I got emotional a couple of times during that, but what a great selection of scenes, apart from the Shelob one, which I don't swear on the channel, guys. Not because I'm against swearing, I swear often in RL. But I think it's funny to try not swear. So, you know, that's kind of my gig. I was extremely close to swearing when it said Shelob on the screen. Oh my goodness. That was beautiful. It really, really was. The whole Gondor, what would then become the Gondor theme being in Fellowship, that's so... I love it. I love it so much. The Arwen song being used in that way was ingenious, and it really does tie the two characters together. I agree that having someone on the screen and then that person singing about them would be a bit meta. It would be a bit strange, so I can understand that decision. But it was used in a perfect place for it, though. It really, really was. And I had no idea that it was her singing. Again, guys, I'm so sorry if you've told me in the past, which you very possibly have, that Annie Lennox was involved in Return of the King. Because that surprised me then. But now thinking about it, I think you guys must have told me. So I'm guessing that is on the credits, because obviously you have Into the West, which again is definitely one of my favourite tunes. I didn't know it was called that. It's so freaking gorgeous, and the fact that it's used throughout whenever death has been discussed is, I'm going to have to rewatch and check that out because that is so beautiful. Obviously, Pippin's song is fantastic, guys. Being able to watch the entire thing without the cuts was fantastic because you could see the acting and the distress on his face was amazing, guys. Oh my god! Yeah, let me know what your favourite piece of music from Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit is, guys. It could be that's what Bilbo Baggins hates, maybe. For me, though, guys, like whenever the Hobbit theme, I call it the Hobbit theme, or Hobbiton theme. It probably isn't called that. It's probably got a proper name. In fact, it obviously does. But whenever I hear that, it just makes me smile. It really does. And so that's my favourite. But Into the West is definitely up there as well. Yeah, so if you joined me when I first started doing these guys, you'll know that I saw Fellowship long ago. Before, like long before doing these and everything, and my one take from it when I first saw it was I need to get the soundtrack, and I did. I got the soundtrack. I got it on CD. It's probably just up here. In fact, I can't quite see it right now. And then I just didn't watch the rest of the movies, which is insane now. How much considering how much I enjoy them now. But yeah, I listen to that soundtrack regularly. I need to get the Two Towers and the Return of the King ones. I really do, guys, because I need those. I mean, the tune which really made me realise that I really need to do that was when the wyverns or the dragons are attacking the horseback soldiers, and Gandalf comes in with the torch and everything, with the staff. Like, that music in this video was so beautiful, but at no point did I really acknowledge that in that scene because there was so much going on. And so being able to enjoy the music separately, I think is going to be an absolute treat. I think that's what I'm going to do later on tonight. that's probably going to be my plan. Renee Fleming looked very familiar. I'm wondering if I've seen her or heard her work elsewhere. The name's familiar as well. And yeah, Peter Jackson and Beatles guys. He released that Get Back, I think it's called, wasn't it? Which was basically like all the footage of the Abbey Road sessions and everything. Maybe I should watch that sometime. Probably not for a reaction. That would probably be a bit odd. I know there's one bit about like someone asking for a sandwich or something like. I don't know. but yeah, I should probably check that out because I do love I love the Beatles, guys. I basically inherited my dad's taste in music, basically. And you know, I'm not against that at all. I mean, that is definitely a good thing. This is an absolute blooming treat, guys. I didn't expect to get emotional in it, but the scenes that were chosen in this were absolutely stunning. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. When it comes to the Lord of the Rings stuff that we got right now, we're actually nearing the end of this playlist. The next video is cameras in Middle Earth. Oh, looks like we've already done one of them. Or is that... No, these red line things are very confusing sometimes. Sometimes if you click on a video and then click off it, it'll say you've watched the entire thing. And so I don't think I watched this. Or maybe I have. No, we did. We did do one about cameras, definitely. But the next one is over an hour. Okay, I will work out. I feel like we did jump and do this one. But I will work out what we have and haven't done. And then we got Colbert's Lord of the Rings recap celebration 20 years, and in Zoom to rule one Zoom to rule them all. Really reunited Lord of the Rings edition. Is that gonna be a lockdown thing? My goodness, 3 years ago, guys. That is bizarre. That is bizarre. I don't want to get too much into it, guys, but that's when things started going, you know, bad when it came to certain things and everything. And I got to admit, guys, when it showed the ship and everything in this, it did make me a little bit emotional. But that's because Lord of the Rings, you know, covers death in a beautiful way, a really, really beautiful way. So yes, I'm sorry, guys, I'm getting emotional. But yeah, that's what's so powerful about it, the fact that you can relate it to, you know, real bereavements and everything, and it helps you through it. I didn't mean to get all emotional at the end here, guys. I'm sorry. But thank you so much for watching. Like I say, let me know what Lord of the Rings stuff you want me to check out in the future, guys. And it won't be such a long wait this time. I'm so sorry. I'd imagine that the vast majority of you must have thought, well, Veggie's just obviously done with Lord of the Rings now. And I certainly didn't mean to get that impression. It's just been a tough time of it, you know. So thank you all so much for watching. And yeah, let me know what you want me to check out. Please subscribe, all the good stuff. I'm VEGGIEKNIGHTS, and I'll see you next time. I'm just going to add this little bit right at the end, because literally the second that I pressed stop, the doorbell went, and I had to go down and receive a delivery. And I'd imagine the guy was probably wondering why I was in tears. Thanks so much for watching, guys.